If your customers compare you to competitors, or if they're visiting your business but they're not buying anything, it's usually happening because your offer isn't clear enough for them to trust you yet. So today you're going to learn one simple shift that builds brand trust very quickly and gets people to choose your company with confidence. Now, a while ago, I worked with a client who owned multiple retail locations, and one of those locations was struggling very badly. It wasn't earning enough money. The foot traffic was super slow, and customers didn't see a reason to even go to that location. They kept comparing the smaller location to the larger location because it was more popular and it had more choices and options. The smaller location really didn't have anything special going on about it. And that was the problem. The problem was that customers didn't understand the point of having two duplicate locations, one that's even smaller, and there was already a bigger location that was really closely in the area. So, what needed to happen for the smaller location, the messaging needed to showcase the uniqueness of the new, smaller location. Okay. And right at that moment, the content wasn't giving customers a reason to trust that smaller location, right? They didn't know how they were going to benefit from going to that spot. And so people were very hesitant. They weren't trying to go there. They didn't really want to. A couple people showed up. They were a little curious, but for the most part, there wasn't a lot of traffic happening. But after I understood what the problem was, I guided leadership to try to switch their focus from what was making the location valuable for the business, right, to what was making the location more valuable to the customers from an emotional standpoint, right? Why do they need to go there? What about going there will help them in their life, in their everyday life? And one thing that we discovered, there was a specific product. I'll tell you what that product is. It was a coffee energy drink, and the target audience at the time there was a lot of college students. So it was a coffee energy drink that was going to help their customers, um, stay alert possibly before classes and exams. If they stay up late for study sessions, that was who we were trying to tap into, that audience. And as soon as we started highlighting that specific product, everything changed. Okay. The location started to shift, the messaging started to shift from, here's what we sell to here's how this is going to help you at that exact moment. And you need it, right? That new message was speaking directly to the emotional need of that college student, right? Of who would be the most likely to drink that product. And people started coming in, seeing the product, and instead of seeing a product as just a whimsical buy, instead it was more seen now as part of their daily routine instead of just another item of the shelf. They started getting repeat buyers coming in every day to get a specific coffee, every morning to get that specific coffee energy drink. So it ended up being, again, more beneficial to highlight how their lives could change by getting this product than just listing the product and saying, hey, we've got this, right? So as they continued to keep that message consistent and keep going, the customer trust began growing even more, and people started believing in the experience because the experience finally made sense to them, right? They were able to tap into that. And within just a few weeks, that shift that we made was so noticeable. Sales went up. The location finally had a flow of customers who came ready to purchase over and over again. And by the end of my 9-month partnership with the client, that location grew its sales by over 900%. The store didn't change and the customers didn't change. The only thing that changed was the messaging that we presented. And that small shift allowed customers to trust the new location even more, faster and easier. And it was a great experience. Now, here's the big idea for this episode. You need to remember, okay? Remember that customers will trust your brand when they understand why your offer fits their lifestyle and their routine. People aren't going to make decisions based on just information alone. They need to make, or people usually make decisions based on clear understanding and the convenience of why they're buying it, as well as the emotional alignment to why they need to buy it. Okay. If customers are not showing up, or in other words, when customers aren't trusting your brand, it's because they can't tell what their experience is going to be, what it's going to feel like when they tap into your business. They might see the product or service, but they're not going to see the purpose behind your product or service. And that's what will make them not even want to buy or participate in the offer that you have. The goal is to try to connect with trust as soon as you put out that message so that it shows your customers how your offer is going to fit into their daily habits, their schedule, their identity, or even their goals. Once you do that, once they feel that, they're going to move closer to you instead of stepping to another competitor or going somewhere else. And again, that was our shift. It was so simple. We stopped trying to convince people what we were selling, and we started showing them how our product actually supported who they were as a person and why they needed it in their lives. And then we stayed consistent with that message to over and over and over again, which made customers stop wondering, why should I choose that brand? They already knew why they should choose that brand because they now felt like that brand understood them. And once customers understand that there's value in that experience that they're going to get, they're going to keep returning without needing constant reminders. They're just going to show up for you. That's the goal. That's what we want. So the most important thing to understand is this. If your customers don't trust your brand yet, it could be that they just can't clearly see how your offer fits into their lives. So when your message shows them the role that your product or service plays in their day-to-day routine or their world, then they're going to trust you quicker, faster, and easier. And that's what we want. All right, friend, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And again, thank you for watching. All right, friend, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, then like and subscribe to support Brand Impact 365 with LaMorvielle. And if you are struggling with your brand impact, then watch the next video.